Welcome back to Global Arsenal. And tonight, after a long break, we're going to have our Fan Friday stream where we just answer questions about the club. My expert panel is giving their thoughts. Welcome back to the channel. We have man like Tineluke. How you doing, bro?
All good, bro. Tough
Awesome,
times
awesome.
for the fan base, but we're fine.
Yeah. Things have not really been as planned. The Sporting CP game really left a lot to be desired. I was really concerned about the performance over both legs, and I really hope that we turn up with something different this weekend because man, these lads haven't really done as well as I expected. What was your thoughts of the game overall, bro?
Well, if it wasn't the result against Bournemouth, I think everybody would say, "Oh, professional performance by Arsenal, seeing off, just doing the job." Okay, because I don't think there was any time in that game that I felt like Sporting Lisbon had a chance to win the match. So it's a lot of the analysis of this game is um, based on what happened prior to the match. Like,
Yeah,
because it was an L in the weekend, so that is spilling over to the analysis of the game. I didn't think it was a bad performance for considering that we went into the match with a lead and they pretty much played a typical Arsenal match where they didn't have to, they just needed to secure the points,
yeah,
the results. Okay. So there were a few scares, but nothing really extraordinary. And I felt that in the last 20 minutes, Sporting didn't even have a shot. Talk more of a shot, there was a chance. So in isolation, okay, it was a professional European performance to see out a result and get to the semi-final of Champions League. However,
mm-hmm.
if you look at it in the context of the week, you would have wanted the team to show more punch or attacking verve, at least to sort of make the fans feel that they are in it. That the team is recovering on the way to recovery. But I think the manager came out all guns blazing in the press conference prior to that match, and was talking about having fire and returning to the principles of the team, and which he had to do what the press conference was exactly a press conference I expected from him, but the performance
Yeah,
of the pitch wasn't really maybe that press conference was the type you would have expected prior to Man City, okay? Because the team, what the game called for that day wasn't really fire. It just called for a calm, nothing dramatic. You have a big game in the weekend that you don't want to stress yourself in the midweek. So the game that was required was an energy conserving game.
yeah,
Okay, that was what was required. But the fans didn't obviously wanted the team to go all out. But at the end of the day, the team will have to be judged by what happens in two games, not just one game, because
true.
the assignment was to qualify for the semifinals. Okay, with minimal damage. But the real assignment this week is what happens at Manchester City, and that is the
Yep.
match that we have to, like Thierry Henry said in his comments, that's where he needs to see the fire. Sporting Lisbon, fine European professional performance. Nothing to criticize about. I won't criticize much about the match. The objective was, this is the first time in the club's history are doing the semi-final back to back. It can't be part of a conversation than
Yeah.
discussing
Come to think of
whether.
it. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, come on, guys. You have to look at the merits and the demerits of the game. The match that we should be discussing is not Sporting Lisbon. The objective was achieved with minimal force. It is what is going to happen at Manchester City that needs to be the topic of the conversation. Shutting out the noise. You can leave that for the analysts and the other fan bases. What we need to lock in on is how we treat this resurgent beast that is Manchester City this weekend. And that is what is probably going to decide the outcome of the league. I don't believe that Arsenal has a way to win the title with a loss there. Mathematically, yes, but just the general psychology of the team currently, I think they need to show a face in that game
True.
that requires them to get something out of it so that they can go into the remaining matches confident that they are there. Semi-final of Champions League and with head-to-head with City sorted. I think that's what they need to do this weekend. That's where the big assignment is.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess we'll just go straight to the slides. As always, on Fan Fridays, we take questions from several Arsenal fans and we answer them to the best of our knowledge. I have one more panelist joining us, Rory. He'll come shortly, but I think we can cook together till he comes through. So the very first question here says, what results defined Arsenal season so far for you?
Result, a specific result.
Now, what game? When the game after that game, you just felt that okay, we're ready.
Okay.
What game comes to mind, or what series of games come to mind?
I think the run where Arsenal, the identity of the team this season was formed when they went, I think eighth thereabout. There was a run where Arsenal was not even conceding shots on target, talk more of goals.
Yeah,
Eight game clean sheet.
yeah.
That was when the team built the momentum that brought them into the title challenge. Okay, so I believe if I'm going to say a series of games, I think it was that portion of the season. They didn't necessarily play the best football then, but it was a functional team. And this team, I keep telling people, it has scored many goals, but the team is not going to be defined as the best attacking Arsenal. It's a defensive team. The team is built on being solid, tactically sound, and defensively, like pristine. So when the team suffers is when the core principles that have brought them here, they start missing it. Tracking runners. I mean, on the goal in the Bournemouth match, the first goal.
Louis Kelly was just missing in action. I don't know how
it wasn't just Kelly. It was what was his
White.
name? Our right winger. Why am I forgetting his name? He wasn't tracking anybody. I mean, so in September, October, November, when we were on that run, that sort of play was totally impossible because whoever was playing on the right was going to track that runner. So when we lost the things that brought us here, we didn't get to where we are by scoring 5 goals or beating teams black and blue. No, we got to where we are today by not conceding goals, by being completely undeniable as a defensive team, and that was where we lost it and started dropping points here and there. So I believe so that 8-game run. But if I'm going to pick a result, that started sort of that run, is probably what you have on the slide. Yeah, Gabriel's bulleted at the 91st or in the last minute to win the Newcastle away game in a ground where we suffered. I think it's pretty much one of those ones. Yeah?
Awesome. Yeah, we got 4 folks in the chat. Jay, always good to have you, bro. And now there's a comment from Owen Claridge. I'm guessing Coco will probably comment on this. Welcome, brother. He says, I don't think it will feel quite right if we win the league without beating Man City. Coco, can you give us your thoughts on that comment?
Yeah, hello. Pino.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Cool.
All right. So, yeah, thank you. I feel sentimentally, we need to beat City to win the league, going for a draw might seem pragmatic, but, trying to correct what has been going on recently with the terrible results and, the air of the fans, the whole stadium, and then the banter rats. I'll just call them banter rats. Beating Man City would really make a statement, and add some seriously good icing to what I feel we're still going to win anyway. I think we'll still take the league, but they need to go out there and do the business against Man City. If you remember, over time, Man City has actually been scared of us now. We just somehow been a little bit too tactical at home, especially in our home games. But I remember when we trounced Man City 2 seasons ago. Was it last season?
The last
They,
season, actually,
last season,
5-1.
yeah. This season they came at us scared, but we seem not to want to enough of the balls. We just didn't want to take it to them. But if we did, and I know there is that attacking flair in the team that really has sort of gotten hidden, maybe because of tactical nuances here and there. But I still feel Arsenal has what it takes to beat Man City and go ahead and
Awesome.
win the league. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Tino, thoughts on that same comment?
No, you know me very well. I don't subscribe to stuff, things like that. I mean, if I win the league without beating any of the top four, I'm fine with
You
it.
don't care, right?
When they put the list of league title winners, they don't put nobody cares about the result.
About the fixtures.
Just want, and we've not won the league in 20,
2 years.
2 years. So
Yeah,
I
2
don't
years.
think Arsenal fans have we don't have the luxury of deciding what kind of league title we want to win. We just want to win the league. If it means winning 1-0, every day till the end of the season, let's get the title. I don't care about winning Man City or not. I just want to win the league.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's go to the next question. And it says, which team has caused us the most problems? So that should be a question of this season, because if we really want to be objective, we have really been doing well. We have had only 6 losses. We had 3 losses in our first 50 games to Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Man United. Yeah, then of course we've lost 3 games in the last 4, which is Man City, Southampton, and Bournemouth. But if you want to span this question maybe for the last 4, 5 seasons, which team has really caused us problems? Coco, let me start with you on this. What team comes to
Wow.
mind?
I don't know, but I mean, it hasn't been Man City for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we've had more issues with Bournemouth.
I'm thinking Fulham. For some reason, we just don't know how to win those guys.
Or let's take it back. Let's take it back. I really think lately it was Aston Villa because of what they did last season. I mean, we did
Well,
we lost
it was
we
my
lost to
memory
them back
that
to
made us
back.
lose our league campaign in 2024, right?
Yeah, I think Aston Villa was the sole reason for. I mean, well, not the sole reason, but I mean, if we had at least taken a draw from our games against them, we would have won the league. You know,
Yeah, potentially. But
I would say,
I still feel that run in December when we lost to West Ham and Fulham really played a role, because that was when we went to
yeah,
Dubai and became beasts. But for some reason, Fulham still comes to mind anytime I think of things that really have give us problems.
really,
So go
I
ahead,
think
Coco.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham really they give problems, but we always mind it. We somehow find a way, to maybe
Yeah,
get the
come to
one
think
nil
of it.
here and there. But
Yeah. What about
yeah,
you, Tino?
yeah.
I think this season is with Manchester United. So the two teams, the two Manchester United matches. The first one we won, okay.
Oh
But
yeah, that
I
one.
remember it was
Struggle,
the
man.
opening. Yeah, opening. They played. It's very rare that Arsenal gets outplayed. Okay, we might not win, but you don't beat Arsenal a lot. Beating Arsenal requires a lot of effort. I think Manchester United generally have a good performance when they play us. We might win, but this season they gave us a lot of troubles, and I think our decline started with the loss to them. Then, if I'm to think generally, I think Arsenal has done pretty well against the traditional top 6 teams
Yeah.
in the last
Because
yeah.
prior to that loss against Liverpool, we had gone
Exactly. We had gone to
yeah,
games
almost
where we
22
Yeah,
did not do.
games. Yeah.
So
yeah,
if I think of defeats or teams that have stressed us out in the past, in the last maybe since 2023 till now, Everton comes to mind, Brighton comes to mind. These are some places we go to and drop points in
Yeah.
different crucial times that also lead to cluster losses. Arsenal has this behavior of when we lose a game, they will maybe draw the next one or lose. There's usually a cluster that affects the season. So there's always Everton inside that cluster. There's always Brighton.
Do
So
we have
whenever I
them?
remember,
Do we have Everton and Brighton before the end of the season?
I think we have Everton somewhere. So anytime I remember Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth to an extent, I don't like playing some of these teams.
Yeah,
Newcastle, yeah. So
Newcastle. Hmm.
Yeah, Newcastle is a tough thing for us too. That's
it's
true.
a tough
That's
one.
true. Especially in St. James Park. That's why that win against them this
Yeah,
season was
the away
mental.
games in these places are usually tough for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we,
true.
we we- we've done well this season because some of those traditionally tough teams we did well against them. It's been a good season. That's why we are top of the league. But
Yeah.
this season was a season where I think we buried some demons.
Yeah.
Yes,
But we have a big
And,
one to bury this weekend.
a massive one. We have a big one.
the mother of all demons at this point.
Yeah.
Hey Rory, welcome back, bro. How you doing, mate?
Um, yeah, I'm not too bad. Got a few things off my chest yesterday, so I'm feeling better about myself, to be honest. But how are you, bro?
I'm cool. I'm cool. Welcome to the channel, man. So we're going to the next question. I think we'll probably start with you on that. And it says, does Mikel Arteta deserve a contract extension right now?
Nope. I don't think he deserved the last one. In fact, you could go all the way back to when he first got the job in the first place, to be honest with you. I'm always willing to give a manager a chance, don't get me wrong. But don't tell me that he was ever the right guy to take this team forward. Did I expect, where we were at the time to be, title challengers competing on all four fronts under Arteta, especially like the circumstances we were in with Arteta? No. But at the same time, I've got to get over the line, and I will give him credit that if he was going to leave tomorrow, he's left us in a position where we can get over the line. We still have a very good squad. We've still got players who can improve from here. But I think he's got to a point where he has taken this team as far as he can. I don't think he's that guy to take us over the line. That's just me. And I've never thought he could. Like, to be honest, I think there's only been, 2 seasons where I've given him the benefit of the doubt, and that was in the 22-23 season where we bottled an 8-point lead. I was like, you know what? If he can sustain that football going into next season, then I think we'll win the league. All we needed was just a couple more adjustments. And I think in the last 2 seasons, it's shown me that the guy's petrified to win games of football. And that's what's eventually going to cost us. He is now coming with that Everton mentality because, of course, he's played under David Moyes, etc., etc. And I think with, in terms of the contract and that, I mean, fair enough, as I said, you've got us competing again. You've won an FA Cup in your first 6 months. So I've seen you get over the line with a worse team, if it's anything, and you've ripped that apart, spent £1 billion, and you've still not won anything since. You can't even win a Carabao Cup, and that's the concerning thing. And the crazy thing is, right, if he was going to win that Carabao Cup, if he won that final, should I say, then I would have actually given him another season. I wouldn't have given him a new contract, don't get me wrong, but I would have kept him for next season because I'm just desperate for silverware. Like, regardless of whether we win the league or not, if we would have won that Carabao Cup, I would have definitely given him the benefit of the doubt. But because we're in a situation where we've thrown 2 cup competitions in the bin in the space of 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and, the Premier League is now looking peak. I'm not going to lie. After that loss against Bournemouth, I think every Arsenal fan is deflated with the way we are playing at the moment. It always seems to be April, May time. Like, the guys only won 1 game in April, which is absolutely abysmal. It's not just under Arteta. Don't get me wrong, right? It's been an Arsenal thing. Whenever we reach April, we seem to capitulate every single time, and I think in terms of the contract extension, he should definitely not be given it before the end of the season. I wouldn't even give it to him even if he does win the league, to be honest. But I will like hear them out for the decision because again he's won us our first league in 22 years. So I'd hear out the decision to give him a new contract. Doesn't mean I'd necessarily give him a new contract, if that makes sense, if he was going to win the league. Because I think that's as far as he can get with this Arsenal team. I think the best solution, and I'm even at that stage where even if he does win the league, then I think he's got a cut
Okay, fair
because
enough.
I just can't, put up with this football for much longer. I'm seeing players, dropping like flies, with injuries, and yeah, it's not good to watch this football, as well as as I said, players dropping like flies every single week. Calafiori can't stay fit. I think plenty of players have come out and said that the training methods are just too high intent, and they're
Yeah, I
really
agree.
struggling. Like hence, Jurriën Timber had to play through injury last season um, throughout that semi-final, and he was saying, "Yo, I could barely run," but Arteta just went, "Well, you know what? Get on with it," instead of just playing Ben White there. So um, I think it's quite clear to tell that he does have a habit of running players into the ground. We've seen it over the years, and it's only going to get worse from here with him in charge. And that's just me. I don't think he
Okay.
should be given a new contract. He's what, the second highest manager, earned manager in Europe. He's on more money than Luis Enrique, who won a quadruple last season. So
Okay,
uh,
that's fair. Cool. So I'll let you hear from Coco, then Tino. So Coco, give us your thoughts.
Well, I think it would be a bit harsh to, not being sympathetic to him. I think is one of the most more consistent managers we've seen in Europe over the last 3 years. Premier League is not an easy league to win. I mean, it took Jurgen Klopp a while to grasp his to get a grip and get a title. Now the season is not over, and I wouldn't want to put any to give him something to sign before the season is done. But however, I do feel that on the premise that he does win the Premier League, I think he deserves an extension because simply because I don't really see an option out there that is willing to take on the Arsenal project the way Arteta did take on the Arsenal project. Now, Arsenal is a team that was down in the doldrums, when he came on board. I remember it was a real head scratcher what's going to happen next after the last manager was sacked, he came in and it was just a different situation. I mean, we have other Premier League teams in that kind of fix right now, and we know what they are going through. Um, Arteta for me represents stability in a way. I mean, we've made Champions League 2 seasons in semi-finals, 2 seasons in a row. Um, his brand of football hasn't been attractive lately. His philosophy isn't really being seen through, I believe. I also think that this later part of the season, key injuries to people like Saka and Timber, which was a very pivotal aspect to our attacking play, has made it much more difficult to see the more attacking uh, um, side to our game. I mean, people complain about how boring the Arsenal game was, but if you look at the stats up until the last 2 months, was it last month even, where top goal scorers in terms of goals scored, we have done a lot. The goals were spread across the team. The team spirit was high. I believe Arteta deserves an extension to his contract. I do understand why people would think otherwise, but given what we've been through at Arsenal and seeing what is going on in Europe, I barely see a manager that is available that is going to come in and not make things get worse from where we are with Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, look at Tottenham. Now we're happy where they are, but Ange was able to get them to win their first trophy. And even though the sentiment wasn't that Tottenham was doing well because of Ange's tactics, but I do think that it was a bit unfair to sack him, give him that extra season to build on the fulcrum, of the trophy win, give him an opportunity. And Tottenham had their issues that season. I mean, last season. They sacked him and look at where they are now. They've dealt with it. They brought in a good manager, a manager you think would back to take Tottenham somewhere in France. Thomas Frank is a very good manager, in my opinion, in terms of instilling his own, philosophy in a team. But he wasn't able to do that with Tottenham, and then Tudor, I mean, they're probably going to get relegated. And I think it would be remiss for us to make a decision on Arteta for at least one more season. Let's see what he's able to do if we win the league the next season. There's something that goes with winning a league. It gives you the confidence that your players don't have. The players are dealing with a lot of psychological, a lot of repetitive stress on missing. So I think there's much more on Arteta's plate than we realize with the players he has and the team and what he needs to do to turn around this team and get a trophy. I don't really believe spending billions is going to win you a trophy. I mean, Chelsea are doing that. They were lucky with the Club World Cup, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to be in Chelsea's shoes right now, even though they won something last season. They are an absolute shite of the club. So stability is what Arteta, for me, represents, and I would go for stability right now.
Okay, fair enough. So before we get to Tino, let's just have a couple of thoughts in the chat. Owen is like, look at where Arteta has gotten us. And they were like, imagine how unstoppable we would be once we win a major trophy. Yes,
Yeah.
we all have that same sentiment, but we need to get over the line. So Tino, up to you, bro. If you are Josh Kroenke right now, would you give Arteta an extension or not?
So one of my favorite pastimes is I read books. I like reading, and I read sports biographies a lot. So I'm going to draw parallels between Arsenal now and Chicago Bulls in basketball.
Okay.
When Chicago Bulls, when Doc Collins was the manager that sort of revived Chicago Bulls and made them a franchise, a top team again. But he didn't win. He went to the conference finals, lost to Detroit Pistons. I'm talking about in the 80s, like late 80s, 87 to 89. Doc Collins was like, let me just do a quick summary. Chicago Bulls used to be shit. Like in the mud, nobody was going to watch them. The stadium, their court was a dump. The fans were, like pretty much how Arsenal was when Mikel Arteta stepped into the door. Okay, so he took them through that 2 stages, bringing Michael Jordan stepped up his game. Michael Jordan became the face of the team under him. Okay, they got to finals. They didn't win. They didn't win a championship, and he left. And his assistant Phil Jackson took over and made 1 or 2 tactical changes. Brought in psychologists, introduced a few tweaks to his system, and that team became a well-oiled machine that went on. We all know the history. I mean, even those that don't watch basketball know Chicago Bulls from that time. Okay? But the key thing was Doc Collins started the journey and Phil Jackson finished it. Okay? And Phil Jackson was able to finish that journey because he took over an existing system, added a triangle attack, tweaked the system, and brought in some talent. I mean, nobody can. Scottie Pippen was critical to the Bulls winning championships. So I'm going to come back to Arsenal now. There is that school of thought that Mikel Arteta might be the Doc Collins of this club, and that he has taken because you can't deny him. Arsenal have gone from a complete joke, a laughing stock, to a certified top 3 team in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is massive. It is massive. It's only because of the times you live in that you have people making fun of the team. The team is not a team to be joked around with. They're a very serious team. They beat most teams that they meet. But we need trophies because a club of this size needs to win trophies. Okay? So it is, for me, it is the optics of discussing a contract right now in the middle of the season, or rather towards the end of the season, where trophies are to be won, and we haven't gotten any. To me, it's not the right time to discuss contracts. I know such things don't usually make it to the news before because companies have to run. If you're going to extend your manager, you have to start the conversations prior to the end of the season. But these things shouldn't be. I don't think we should be at the place where Mikel is going to sign anything before the end of the season. And I'm not saying he shouldn't sign at the end of the season. I'm just saying that the talk of extending him should not come up at this particular point. Then at the end of the season, we can look at the entire season and his tenure and decide, okay, do we back him with one more player? Do we, if we give him a devastating attacker, is there a chance that he's going to win the league? Because honestly, I think that the Arsenal team is a bit underpowered up front, and the manager has also played some very brilliant football in his time in Arsenal. So the team has many faces. There's a face of the team where we watch, brilliant, fast, dynamic, attacking football. But in recent months, we've seen the other side of the team where it's all deep, dogged, trying to win at all costs team. So it is a conversation. If I was the sporting director of the Josh Kroenke, even if I plan to give Arteta an extension, it's not going to be a conversation I'll have now. We have a long time during in the summer. Everybody things will be in the World Cup, so you can settle down with the manager and discuss and tell him, okay, we can give you another 2 years or a year. Because right now I don't even see any manager that can step into the team. The managers I want are not available.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Okay, aren't we? Could I throw this question out?
go ahead.
Aren't we a laughing stock now?
It's a social media thing. So let me put it this way: a lot of
Sure?
I don't know. Arsenal is a genuinely top 3 team in the world. So all the memes and all the banter, even Sky tries to play into it for clicks. So a lot of things that happen in the media these days it's just a gimmick. It's all about clicks,
So
numbers, doing the rounds. I mean, you cannot say that a team that is top of the league and in the semi-final of the Champions League is a laughing stock. It's crazy even suggesting such
okay,
things. But such things
okay.
can fly.
So
Things
is
can fly
Turkey
in the
doing?
world now because of the way the media is structured. I mean, you have to gain the guy that was drinking the bottle at the Man City game. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a plant. I can tell you that guy was planted for that content to go viral.
yeah.
It's so
Okay,
fake.
okay, cool. But is Turkey doing keepy uppies a social media thing? Is
No, I mean,
Arteta as a TIFO in a bridesmaid dress a social media thing?
no, but
Is Arteta
but
showing Ivan Tony tweets in the
but Rory,
changing room a social
Rory,
media thing?
let me ask you a question.
Is Bournemouth fans, Bournemouth fans singing second again, ole ole, who would
But
dream to be second place? Is
Rory,
that a social media thing?
Rory, these things used to happen. Even I can pull up maybe after this show, I'll pull up the comments from Arsenal fans on Thierry Henry and his team when they lost to Chelsea in the semi-final of the quarterfinal of Champions League and were knocked out in the FA Cup. That was an unbeaten team during the invisible season. So what happens is because we have a lot of ways of consuming football now and content the whole week, all these things get projected. You see, it's in your face. Nothing has changed. Human behavior has not changed in 182,000 years.
yeah,
Fans have always sang. You've not won the league. They've sang all the songs. These are not new songs. They've sang it for years. banter or not, it's always been there. What needs to happen is that Arsenal need to win. Forget about all the social media or
Yeah.
those things. We just need to win the cup, the title. And I'll tell you that even if you come into next season as the champion, they're going to sing one league, one title in 25 years for you, 24 years for you. It never ends.
I agree.
You've not won
Yeah,
the
I agree.
Champions League. You've not won the Champions League. So that's another song. And if you win the Champions League, then somebody's going to sing, I have 5 and you have 1. So I don't
Yeah,
get
so basically
I
it
don't
doesn't
I don't
stop
bother with those
actually.
things, personally. I
Yeah,
just need to
I
win the
agree.
league.
But the thing is, right, that this guy still got us back to back 8th place finishes. So like we were still a laughing stock back then. So what he basically done was he rebuilt his own mess because, as I said, we finished 8th back to back for 2 seasons. So he went from 8th to 8th to 5th, which we wanted Wenger sacked for. Second, 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 and potentially second again. So
Potentially, but you're not there yet. Come on. You know?
Oh, but
we did
you
all of
also
this
have to
under
take
Wenger and we hounded him out. So it's just like,
no,
well,
but you also have to look at the team is a way more respected team in Europe than under Wenger. I mean, I don't walk into a Champions League game, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, scared.
Scared.
but we reached,
Exactly.
we reached the
Arteta has
Champions, but we reached a Champions League final under Arsene Wenger though.
Yeah, we did. We
Real
did.
Madrid, Juve.
no. I mean, you are going way back. I mean,
Yeah, can I
during
co- can I yeah, can I
the
come in
team
here?
the team declined,
Can
and
I come in
under
here a bit?
Arteta,
Yeah,
under
the
Arteta,
team
let me just land there. Under Arteta, he has rebuilt the club, both
the team
domestically
declined, but we
and
still
Europe.
won more trophies than we
In
have
Europe.
in Arteta's golden era, by the way.
I think what needs to happen, and it's clear for everybody to see that even the Carabao Cup wouldn't have been enough this
Yeah,
season.
I agree. I agree.
What needs to happen is that Arsenal Football Club needs to win the fucking title, the league again. It's not even the Champions League. We just need to win the title. And when and if we win the title, I believe someone has already said it in the comments. It's going to unlock another beast in this
Yeah.
particular team because that's a monkey off the shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did say
I
that.
agree. So,
I did
Coco,
say
go
that.
ahead.
So let's support the team through this weekend, get over the line, and see what happens. But if, for instance, because this is life, there's still a chance that we don't win the league. Then I'll entertain conversations of, okay, this manager might not be the one to take us across the line. I'm completely I'm in that conversation. It's very possible. I don't believe that it's Arteta or nobody. No way.
Yeah, I agree.
If you don't do the job, you get somebody else to do the job.
No doubt. So, Coco, before you come in, let's just check a couple of chats. So we have the GOAT himself, True Gona in the chat. Good to have you, bro. And there was a nice comment I saw from Owen. He was like, it's quite mental that we'll have a chance to win the Champions League, Premier League, or both. And it's a cover around sacking the manager. How does that make sense? And of course, Mr. Masha says, he deserves it. So, Coco, let's hear you cook, man, in this same regard. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite crazy, Look, we're on the cusp of having or making the league and the Champions League. In most years, it doesn't get better than that, Now think about it. Look at the Champions League. Two of the 4 teams that are still in it have played Arsenal and we've beaten them. We beat Bayern 3-1, we beat Atletico 4-0. Right? Think about it. It's just like I said, we have had 2 key injuries, Saka and Timber. Trust me, if we had I'm not making excuses. If we had Saka and Timber, we'd not have as many bad results as we have lately. Now,
but injuries are part and parcel of the game, though. So I don't think you want to use that as a yardstick. In the end, you have to rate out the 5 players.
Let's go beyond that. It's crazy that we really are discussing the manager's contract at this time when we should be rallying around the team and trying to get the team round. So I think there's a negativity around the fans. Also, partly because of what has been going on. Arsenal has not won anything for a long time. Arteta himself is not trophyless with Arsenal. He's won a cup. He's won the FA Cup, you know, in his first season. That gave him the mileage he has. He's made us
True,
a
true,
formidable
true.
team in Europe.
But then
Now,
again, there's
even
this argument that if there's still fans in the stadium when we finish in that eighth place, that he might have gone. Because
yeah,
that was still when the coronavirus
strong, yeah.
was still
But
strong, yeah?
and then I can argue that even during the Wenger era, Arsenal was not this fierce in the Champions League.
Yeah, true. But
Even during the
it's a
Wenger,
counter to your point. You mentioned how we beat both Bayern Munich and Atletico. But as Strugona rightly says here, we actually beat PSG in the group phase 2-0. And when we
yeah.
got to play them against in the semi-finals, we got knocked out. So, yes,
So,
it's a good thing
so
that PSG and Bayern are playing ourselves, but I don't think we should be
exactly.
overconfident when we play Atletico in the
No,
semis this
no,
time.
we are not going to be overconfident. Now, the team has learnt from that experience. Look, there was some complacency thinking, oh, we don't be as PSG comfortably, right? We're in the league stage. I think us now. That is why I believe grinding out that result against Sporting. Playing Sporting is not an easy team, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal won the game in a way that most teams are not able to do it these days, right? Barcelona may not have beaten Sporting. We have the defense right now.
Yeah.
We,
Because then
we have
again,
some,
after Bodo Glimt beat them 3-0, there was the narrative that they were going to leave entirely, but they won 5-0. So we still have Raya to thank for that first leg because we kind of really struggled against Sporting.
you, you need a
That is
world class keeper. I think Raya is one of the best additions to the Arsenal squad.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
also why I don't believe Arteta should have played another keeper in
Yeah.
the cup
Okay.
final.
So how do you respond to this comment from Okeogan? Okeogan, good to have you again as always. With our current form, we're finding it difficult to even beat teams that we beat earlier in the campaign. Our attention is dropping off on the team. It's very, very clear to see that these guys are kind of playing with some kind of tension. In the Bournemouth game, in the two games against Sporting, do you think that they can actually improve in how they play for the remaining games of the season?
Yes, I believe they can. Look, we have um, we have players coming back. I believe that we're going to have Timber and Saka back. It's just the surprise that Arteta is keeping in his cupboard. Like I said, unfortunately, injuries came in at a very crucial point, and a mixture of injuries and bad decisions. Bad decisions for me in the Carabao Cup because we needed that cup
Oh yeah,
for
yeah, that
Champions
Kepa
League.
versus Raya thing
For me,
was really
that
messed up.
was fully on Arteta, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, I can put the Southampton game on him, but you bank your team to beat that Southampton team, right? But the key match was the Carabao Cup, okay? But I do believe that we're going to see Timber against City.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
and trust me, that inclusion, because the dynamic we've had, the errors we've had in the team have come from his wing.
From White,
Simply
yeah.
because
Yeah,
White
the
was
White
not
and
really
Madueke, they have really underperformed. But then
exactly.
again, I really love this comment from True Guna. You said that you cannot blame injuries when you have one of the best squad depths in the world. Our second teams can actually walk into other teams. So now that the guys that are in the second team are coming into the first team, they need to really show up. And
So
unfortunately, we
so
have not been
so
having that.
yeah, for me, I believe it's a dynamic thing. We are at the tail end of the season. You need your strongest squad. Forget what anybody is saying. The team squad depth is really for to manage games as the game goes. But we're in the business end of the season. No matter how you put it, if you have injuries to your key players, imagine Raya going out on injury. Are you going to say you have the squad depth?
No, fair enough, fair
Our
enough. I
first team
agree.
is our strongest team, right? Right now, we need our first team. Look,
Yeah, but we
when
don't
I
have
made a
them.
comment, I made a comment when we were playing Sporting. I saw the lineup. I saw that Mbappe and Mosquera were available and White wasn't playing. And I felt suddenly the team was stronger. I felt that we were going to go in on the basis of our defense, and that's what we did. Yeah, we didn't score a goal because I know that our front foot is not as strong. But
Yeah,
having that defense, is like playing to your squad strength, right? And I don't think that it's going to get worse. I think it's actually going to get better for the Arsenal team.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to the next question. Since our panelists are not here to just be you to answer a Coco. In
Okay.
one word, how would you describe our attack this season? And I really love the chat to also get in this. I'd like to hear your comments too. In one word, how would you describe our attack? Mine,
Confusing.
mine is
Confusing.
toothless. Mine is,
Confusing.
oh my God. Like,
Confusing. Like,
I'm
that's
really,
my
I'm
word.
really surprised, man.
Confusion. That's my one word. Confusion. Because how do you explain a team with such a low individual goals turnout, but collectively they have more goals than
And everyone.
everyone? How do you explain that? It's tough. How do you explain that? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah, I agree with True Gunnar. They are toothless. Like, for some reason, I don't know how these guys are terrible in front of goal. Gyökeres scored 97 goals in 102 games for Sporting CP. Obviously, I did not expect 97 goals at Arsenal. Like, let me track back. I didn't expect maybe 30 or 40 goals at Arsenal because the quality of the Portuguese league is not the same with Premier League. We've had players
Yeah,
like Darwin Nunez. We've had a couple of foes that come from Portugal that didn't really cook. But watching games, man, this guy, my lord, even in the game against Bournemouth, where he scored a penalty, there were two big chances he still had to at least
yeah,
take us level.
yeah,
You want to talk about Madueke, run around, but no end product.
no
Martinelli,
product.
some days is good, some days is off, but he has more off days than good. Trossard, he hasn't scored since Aston Villa in December. Saka,
Yeah,
since he came back from his injury, he has looked totally different. So our attack is really crazy. And to your point, I'm
crazy.
surprised that we're still
Yeah,
among the highest scorers. But for some
yeah.
reason, our attackers are just, really terrible. And
You
I'm
know,
really hoping that between now and the end of the season, we can just find someone that will really step up. We're thinking
yeah.
there's going to be Havertz, but that's not happening as well. So that's just really crazy.
Mm. It's not happening with Havertz. Havertz is going to, but you kind of feel you need Havertz for a key game. Havertz is a big game player. I always see. I mean, he scored the goal against Sporting, right? I
Yeah,
feel we're not going to get as many goals as we would love to, but I also feel that we need those key players, those guys to turn up. The Havertz, the Rice. You know, it's always going to be a tactical game, especially in the Champions League. In the Premier League, I think we just have to leave it on the table against Man City.
yeah,
We need to definitely go out and get a prolific striker, and we need to get an attacking winger that is
yeah.
going to come in. Maybe
That's a big priority. I agree.
yeah. I've heard that Karach is it what's his name, the PSG guy.
Kivicha, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, I'd
I
love him
mean,
in our team.
yeah, that would be like 100 million quid, man. But if you can go for him, I won't mind. If
Yeah,
you can get me Alvarez and Kvaratskhelia, I think I'm good. Because
yeah,
if I'm getting Alvarez, I'm certainly
yeah.
going to sell
Alvarez.
Gabriel Jesus. And
Thank
if I'm
you.
getting Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, either Martinelli or Trossard has to go as well because I'm not
Has
sure
to
you can
go.
have one of them at the same time in the squad.
Yeah, we can. They'll have to go. But then again, I don't know. Noni confuses me. He's
Yeah,
when
Mama
he's
is
playing,
just
he gets the ball a lot, but he runs the ball out of the pitch so
every
many
time
times.
to go kick. It's crazy.
It's
Like,
crazy.
and I was having this argument with my friends. Would it have been a better option to play Tanwaneri as Saka's backup on the right hand side?
I
Bearing
think
in mind
so.
that 2 seasons ago, when he was playing that position, he actually did very well for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think also maybe they had to ship in out because they bought more Noni and they had to justify buying Noni, right? But I think Etanwaneri needed that game time, needed that exposure, needed to gain some experience to make
Yeah,
those key decisions when he needs to. Because that guy is good. I mean, and I think he's going to be part of the Arsenal squad. I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to take his place. You know,
yeah. Hopefully, at
uh,
least
I,
the time
I
in
don't
France,
think,
like really
yeah,
gear him
I
up to
don't,
do well.
yeah, I don't think Noni Madueke is going to last in the Arsenal team.
Uh, no, he has been a poor signing if we are being honest, though.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so let's go to the next question. It says, at this stage of the season, which competition should Arsenal prioritize? The Premier League or the Champions League?
Ah, bro, both of them.
No, come on, you have to answer one. That's the idea. So
I
if
think
you
they
have
should.
answer, what do you prioritize?
I think they should prioritize the Premier League.
Yeah, same here, man. We haven't won this in 22 years.
Yeah.
I've come too close many times. I think that should be our priority. The Champions
Yeah.
League is good, obviously, because I know if PSG and Bayern play, whoever is going to win that final potentially will actually win the whole damn thing. But obviously, it all happens on that night. But my own opinion, I think PSG we should prioritize the Premier League ahead of the Champions League.
Hmm. Yeah. The Premier League should be priority. We absolutely have to win it. You know, don't, and I think it's going to be that way. You're not. They are going to go all out. They'll go all out for Man City. I don't think. I also think. I mean, when is the semis? Semis is like some weeks
Yeah, in 2 weeks' time, 29th.
into. Uh, so the Man City game is key. So they are lucky. It's a key game. I don't think. I think Premier League is going to priority for them, but I also think they have the wheat. This is what we're talking about. But Premier League definitely go all
Yeah,
out for
but
the Premier League.
Okiogan on the chat, he believes that Champions League is a bigger priority. That's fair. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go
Fair.
to the next question. He says, which signing has made the biggest impact?
Mm. This season.
Yeah, this season.
That's to be Zubi. Zubi,
Yes,
Zubi,
Mizubi, right?
yeah, has to be Zubi Mendy. Definitely Zubi Mendy.
But then
Because
again,
again,
is it a level playing field? The other that really has played the most games. But if you look at all the 8 signings that we have made,
we've
yeah,
made
I
some
think they
key
made the
signings
biggest
though.
impact though.
We've made some key signings because if you think about it, Mosquera
Mm-hmm.
and Nkapi have been immense.
True.
So it's just that Zubi has been constant. Mosquera and Nkapi have deputized for Calafiori, the defense, but they've been immense. I wouldn't. It's tough now you think about it. I
Yeah.
still would. I think Zubi still edges it because throughout the season, it's only lately that his fatigue has come into his game and everything. But he's been an assured first part of the team. He has come in and has helped Declan Rice to
Yeah,
find
to
more of
really
himself.
find that potential. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Because obviously, so now yeah, so how would you grade him vis-a-vis Thomas Partey? Was he an upgrade on Thomas Partey to you?
To who? Sorry.
Was Mendy an upgrade on Thomas Partey for you?
Uh I wouldn't want to disrespect Partey. Partey was aging, but I do think he came in and he added some extra. Um, you could have him for 90 minutes in a game. So yeah, I'd say it's an upgrade on Partey overall.
Okay.
Yeah, not that Partey was any joke though, but that's why I'm seeing him as the biggest impact. Zubi is, players come in and slot into the team, and you don't miss the guy that was there before. That's how you know that you've done well, and that's the
Yeah,
case of
true.
Zubi Mendy.
True. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Which position needs strengthening the most?
Um, attack striker,
Yeah.
striker. Yeah, I mean there's the left wing, right, and
Mm-hmm.
there's the question of the right wing slightly, but I think the striking role needs strengthening. We're very poor in that department. The striking team, as strikers, we need a prolific striker. Unfortunately, I know that it's one season for Gyökeres,
Jokeres.
and we might see a different beast next season, but you just get the feeling that it's kind of surplus. He's going to need a very good preseason, but then again, you have to bring in somebody else. Yeah, I could
You know,
make a
you,
case for the left wing where we have Martinelli and
yeah,
Cucurella.
okay, so if you have maybe 100 million right now and you have to sign just either Cavachikelia or Alvarez, who would you sign first?
Oh my God, I'll go for Alvarez.
You go for Alvarez, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, because then again, we can always play easy on the left wing. I think his
Yeah,
future might actually be on that left wing because
yeah,
I don't think if Odegaard is fit and Eze is fit, it should be either or. I think Eze should go to the left to allow Odegaard, Rice, and Zubin be in the middle.
I believe
So
so too. I
So
believe
you
so
can, so if
too.
I get someone like Alvarez, that will be very instrumental to us. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Alvarez, without a doubt.
Yeah, and of course he has Premier League experience, so it's
And
not as if
he's
he's going to
proven.
come to the league to adapt.
Yeah, he's
You know,
proven in the Premier League. We know what he can do. So
yeah,
there's no X factor to his game, and you get the feeling that his style of play fits us now very well.
he actually
He can
does.
pick
He
the
actually
ball
does.
from the dangerous aspect of the advanced midfield, right? And go into attack. He is able to take one or two players. He's able to do the 1-2s that
Hmm.
you would be prolific for us now.
Yeah,
I think
and he has a very good free kick on him too, man.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
He
which
has
is
all the
great.
tools. And yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
see him at Arsenal.
true. So let's go to the next question. It says, who should Arsenal sell in the next window?
Mm.
Yeah,
Can
I have
we?
a couple in my mind, but I want to hear from you first.
You know, Jesus is leaving, right? So it is not like, can we sell
Yeah,
Noni
well,
this
no
weekend?
one has come for him yet. He still has a year left on his deal, and he was saying that
Can
he
we
wants to
sell?
spend, he wants to have a future in the club.
Can we sell Noni?
That he just bought.
Noni.
Oof. Well, I know, we're not like Chelsea that's into player trading now.
All right. I think Arsenal should. The logical thing to do would be to let Trossard go.
Hmm.
Yeah, would be to let Trossard go.
Yeah, so me, I'm thinking Gabriel Jesus. I'm thinking either Trossard or Martinelli. Trossard is 31, turning 32 with a year
That,
left on his deal.
yeah,
And
that's why I
some
think
some
Trossard.
folks from Turkey came earlier that we did not sign him to.
Yeah,
I
I think
think we
Trossard.
should let either him or Martinelli go. Although
Yeah,
Martinelli
but
is
even
young.
Jesus, I think Jesus is already going. That's why I didn't count him.
Yeah. But then again, even if Gabriel Jesus wants to leave right now, which club can match his wages? Unless he wants to take a pay cut.
He's going back to Corinthians. He's going to go play in Brazil, or
Yeah.
he will go to Saudi Arabia. You know,
Oh, okay. Now, series coming from Okeogan. Upgrade 9, Havertz and Jesus to go. Are you open to selling Kai Havertz?
no man, no. Havertz is underrated. I think Havertz is a key part of the team. Fitness issues have been there, but I still think le- letting Havertz go weakens the Arsenal team immensely. We don't realize that yet. I know we have Mika Merino, but letting Havertz go weakens the Arsenal team. I mean, Havertz is a big game player.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that he's a big game player makes him valuable to any team he plays in, right? Havertz is the guy that comes in and scores that goal that you're looking for. Is that guy? Is always going to be that guy. Nothing. So I think it will always be. I mean, I've valued Havertz. It's
Okay,
unfortunate,
but
but
what about someone like Ben White? With his recent
yeah,
struggles, are you open to selling him to
yeah,
buy a new
very much,
right back?
very much. We have Nkapi, we have Mosquera, we have very versatile players in defense right now, and I think Ben
Yeah,
White is
but when
one.
you think of the fact that this team that is always getting injured, and Mosquera, who is not really a right back, shouldn't we still keep White?
Well, Mosquera still does a better job right now, unless we're ready to bloody White, make sure he plays games, because White looks like he's a confidence player,
Yeah,
right?
so sad. So sad.
Yeah, he's
Really
a
sad.
confidence player. I like him very well. He did very well for us in those 2 seasons where we came second. In fact,
Yeah.
it was intense, but then with Timber is just maybe the best right back in the league.
Miles ahead of him, man. Like
Yeah,
levels
I mean,
above, for sure. For sure. Okay, let's go to the next question here. So it says, will this present day Arsenal team beat the 23 to 2004 side, the team that went unbeaten? So put it in the right context, you have
we
Lehman,
can't
Ashley
put him to
Cole,
play.
so Campbell, Koloture, Lauren. Then you have Gilberto Silva, Vieira, and of course, Perez Ljungberg with Beckham and Henry. Oh, I think we've lost Coco. He's frozen. Oh wow. Oh, is it me? Yeah, okay, guys says since Havertz came back, it hasn't been the same. I agree. Sorry, but we lost you for a bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you
Okay,
now.
so to the question, will this team beat the 0304 team?
Hmm. No, no. Easy
Okay, okay, you
answer.
know what? Let's try something. Let's compare each position pound for pound and
Yeah,
see who edges out. Lehman, Raya,
Raya.
Ashley Cole, Calafiori, Hinkapie,
Actually, fucking cool, bro.
Lauren, Timber.
Well, I'll go for Timber.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Campbell, Gabriel.
bro. So Campbell. So Campbell was just commanding. At his best, he was untouchable, right?
Yeah. So over Gabriel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Koloture Saliba.
Gabriel has not done enough yet.
I didn't. You sound like as if you're muted.
Okay, no, I
Okay.
said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So
Okay,
Saliba, Koloture.
Polo Torre.
Okay. Perez, Martinelli. Don't worry.
Fuck that.
Okay. Ljungberg, Saka.
Oh, bro, take Yulmbek right now.
Okay. Vieira, Rice.
Vieira Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Patrick Vieira.
Gilberto Silva, Zubimendi.
It's Gilberto Silva, bro.
Beckham, Odegaard.
Dennis Beckham.
Oriyo Keres.
So you see, this team, this team will not touch that team.
Oh, no, 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 no. As in, so what kind of question is this? The Invisibles will kill them. Like,
This team
so
will
no,
not
no,
touch. Like
nah, nah, no, no, they can't. As
the
in, I
the
think I even
only
made a mistake comparing them
the,
pound for pound.
honestly, the only player I think that would edge it would have been the goalkeeper, you know, and Timber. The
Yeah,
goalkeeper and
but
Timber.
I think Raya could fight with Lemon, Sha.
He will. He definitely will. This Raya
Yeah,
is world class.
the
People
guy
don't
is
want to
really,
admit it, but Raya is world class.
yeah, the guy is world class. I agree. Okay, let's go to the next question. I wonder where Tino and Rory are. Okay, so it's I think among the top three managers in the world to you right now.
Hmm. I put him in top
And if the
five.
answer is no, name the two that are above him.
Guardiola,
One,
Enrique.
okay, two. Yeah, the fact that you have to think like this, I think is in the top three.
Yeah, I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Because
I think
I'm
he's
trying
in
to
top
think.
three. Yeah,
How,
that's it's just the yeah, Guardiola, Enrique.
but
Yes,
then again, can he be in the top three if he has not really won trophies?
that's the X factor. That's the question because
Because
you
they
can't
have to be a yardstick. We should still be using sentiment for this. Folks like Hansi Flick, is
answer
it a good
flick.
shout?
Wouldn't take answer flick over Arteta right now. I wouldn't lie to you.
Ah, okay. Okay,
I
fair
don't think
enough.
he
But
has
no,
that thing.
I'm in alignment with you that at least Pep and Enrique are certainly ahead of him. But I'm struggling to think of a third manager tells that okay, maybe you know. So clap says Lehman's madness worked for the team. Yeah, but I
But
don't. By terms of quality, I think Raya is better. I think Raya is better.
I think Raya is better.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Raya and Timber. Timber because Timber is extremely solid. You can't. Is the key reason why we went so well. Nobody could get past him.
Yeah, 1v1. That's the truth, actually.
Nobody could get past him, but nobody anywhere. So
I agree. So this is a
yeah,
very good question. Does Arsenal score enough goals for a title winning team? I think we do, though. Yeah, it's more collective than individual. What do you think?
yeah, we actually do. We score enough goals. The only problem, the only difference now is we don't have that star striker that is scoring the majority of those goals. But trust me, I mean, we have more goals. Don't we have more goals than City?
Yeah, no, we have 62. City has 63. Just
Okay,
one
they,
shot.
they only just overtook us
Yeah,
recently,
yeah, based on their last game they just played, the 3-0 that useless Chelsea allowed them to.
and we still have a better goal difference.
Yeah, yeah, we're on plus 38, they're on plus 35. Man, it's really close,
Mm.
man. See, Sunday's going to be fire.
It's going to be fun. It has
Okay,
to be.
next question. Does Arsenal need a 25 goal striker?
Yes,
But who is that striker? And I don't think average is a 25 goal striker if you buy him.
it's crazy, but I think Osimhen is that striker.
Ooh.
I think Osimhen is that striker. However, if we get Alvarez, right, we might not necessarily need to because let's face it, Gyökeres will still win with goals. But I
Yeah,
think if we're looking for if you want to pound for pound go for a 25 plus striker, that's Osimhen. Easy.
yeah, I agree with you on that. So there's a comment from Clap. It says, where I can get to the Spanish team. Do you think
That's
Unai
something
Simon is
else.
better than Raya?
Who?
Unai Simon, the guy that are currently benching
He's,
him.
he's
I
not.
don't think it's better. I
He's
think
not.
it's just the good sentiment.
It's sentiment. It's some coaches just have their own. I mean, for you to come out and tell you actually come out and say that Ryan is not going to get into your. It's sentiment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because someone
So when
like
people say,
Jesus, when you see
yeah,
someone
when
like
people,
Giroud,
when people say Ryan can get into the Spanish team, I mean they're just misinformed. Ryan walk into change that coach is going to rock into that Spanish team. Easy. It's just it's just coach sense because you know that you can afford to have like the Spanish team is strong enough not to have your best keeper there. But if the
yeah,
Spanish team was trash, there will be a spotlight on Ryan as the keeper, being that guy. You know.
I agree. Okay, next question. It says, do Arsenal concede too many soft goals? Do we?
Mm, no, they don't. They don't. The question is too many, right? They don't.
Yeah, we don't
They don't.
actually.
They don't.
Because when you want to really take at, I know what we've considered a couple of goals this season,
You
but
can count
we
the
still
soft
have the
goals.
lowest with 24.
The goal against Sunderland was a soft goal.
Which one? First or second?
The second was a very soft
Well,
goal.
it doesn't really, was it soft? The keeper went for
Yeah,
okay, it
the
was soft,
keeper went for a ball he
and he
shouldn't have
missed
gone for.
it.
Those Raya has made, in my opinion, Raya has only made 2 errors this season. Those were soft
Sunderland
goals.
and Wolves.
Thank you. Those were the
Yeah,
two
yeah.
soft goals we considered. Every other soft goal was the unfortunate goals against the other keeper. But
So,
to
uh, so,
score
so
Arsenal,
okay, no, so we were considered 24 goals in the Premier League, yeah? Let me
mhm,
just even, let's backtrack a bit and just take a critical look at all those goals. The first goal we considered was supposed to lie. That one was a wall of a free kick. There was no way in
that was
hell
wrong.
Real
Yes.
was going to catch that. The second goal we considered in the Premier League was to Voltman, that header. Gabriel could have done better because
Mhm,
he just had that soft push and didn't challenge for the ball.
yeah.
Then we kept lots of clean sheets up until the Sunderland game. Dan Ballard, that first goal, the ball bounced in front of the box. No one challenged him. He scored.
Mhm,
Then Broby scored the late one. Then Tottenham, that one was done as the men they missed the ball from midfield. Oh yeah,
midfield.
that was a rare error, bro.
That was
The one
yeah, but that Richarlison.
Richarlison, yes, scored
Yeah,
that
but he had to. But Richarlison had to give
from
us
the
the
center
ball, but
circle.
that was still a very good goal.
Well, then the next one was Chelsea 1-1. That was a header from Chadoba. No one's
Mhm.
fault.
It
Then we
wasn't. Yeah, it
considered two
wasn't.
goals against Aston Villa. Eberechi Eze did not mark Matikash. and he played it beyond Raya's leg. Then Buendia in a late scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one was Wolves, the one that Tolu nodded the ball into the net that we had to now score with an own goal.
Mm-hmm.
Next one was Brighton. That was Gomez. Yeah, that one was a good shot. I remember that. Then Aston Villa, the one that Watkins scored, it was a late goal. No one really marked the goalie there. Then Bournemouth 3-2. Gabriel gave the ball to Richarlison for an easy goal. Then Junior Krupi fired that massive shot beyond Raya. Then the next goal we considered in the Premier League were 3 goals to Man United. Yeah, those were some very good goals. Dogu from outside the box, Cunha from outside the box, then Mbeumo due to an error. Then Brentford 1-1, then we Spotter, a header. Then of course Wolves 2-2. Bueno scored from outside the box. Then Edozie when Raya's error. Then of course Bournemouth that we just lost. So, honestly, we don't concede soft goals. I'm aligned with that.
No, we don't. We don't concede soft goals. Matter of fact, I think you can count the soft goals. I mean, you've counted the soft goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our problem hasn't been defense. Our problem really has been attack. And
I agree.
yeah.
So now, and that brings us to the next question. Well, welcome back, Rory. Are clean sheets more important than attacking output? What do you think, Rory?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you first.
Wait, what was the question again? Bro.
Are clean sheets more important than attacking output?
Well, it depends on, I would say, sections of the season, right? Obviously, clean sheets are always important, right? I get that. But I think at this stage, around April, May time, you kind of need your attacking players to step up. And I think that's where your attacking output definitely needs to come in action, because attacks win you games of football. You can keep clean sheets without winning games.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And because we are so rigid defensively, and we've been going about with this football for a couple of years now, it's almost like, well, I think it may have been the Burnley game where we won 2-0 and players are sprinting every millimetre to, keep that clean sheet, which is brilliant, right? It's nice that we've got defenders that can defend and have that passion of not conceding goals. Fantastic, right? And it's also fantastic that, David Raya could be winning his 3rd Golden Glove in 3 years. But at the same time, I would happily sacrifice all of them clean sheets if it meant us producing some attacking output, which eventually will win us games of football. For instance, right at that stage of the season, around March time in that final, couldn't care less about how many clean sheets and how we defend in that fight. Well, maybe I've worded that a bit. Yeah, but you get the point.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah. Basically, your attacking output needs to be there in more crunch moments. Obviously, when, for instance, you're 1-0 up, for instance, and you need to get over the line. I think that's where you kind of do need to rely on your attack, but at the same time, if the game is tight, that's when you do need your defence to step up. But I think, as I said, I still stand by that at this stage of the season, this is where your attackers in particular need to step up. We need to play with a bit more purpose. And I think, obviously, it depends on, I would say, if you're talking about Arsenal, obviously, because we have got that defensive prowess, I think you can now rely on what we have in an attacking standpoint. So this is why I'm saying I think Arsenal need to rely on their attack a lot more, because I think we still do have the forward players. They're not shit by any means. We're just not utilising them, or they're just crippled due to all of these injuries. If we had the Arsenal from 3 or 4 years ago, then it's a different story. And I would rely on this to use our attacking output a lot more. Though at the same time, depending on, how shit your attack is and your defence, obviously, which is our core, and you're going defensive, you don't have a choice basically to. Well, you obviously do have a choice, but at the same time, if your team, like it was 3 or 4 years ago, is derelict, it's destroyed, it's just a total mess, then I understand why you have one way of playing. And that is either going defensive, which is, how Arteta won the FA Cup that season by just giving the ball to Tierney, lofting it long to Aubameyang. That was basically it.
Yeah, but and it worked that period though.
Yeah, it did. Now, I just think he relies on his defence far too much. So
Yeah,
I think this is where
but then
to...
again, there are a couple of comments here that I'd like to just touch on. And Sule is like, attack wins you games, defense wins you titles, and teams with strong defense render results and win titles. And now let's talk about that Chelsea team in 05 that had 17 1-0 wins. We had just gone unbeaten in 03-04, and Jose Mourinho came with his style, and we know that they conceded only 15 goals, 6 in Stamford Bridge and 9 away. And that was the yardstick for them winning the title that season.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Mourinho and Arteta, right? Obviously, the CV stands out the most, but also Mourinho was always... It's safe to say he was never afraid of the opposition. He wasn't afraid to attack when he needed to. He still got the best out of as many attackers as he could. Like, he got the best out of Diego Costa. He could find a way to get the best out of Hazard. He didn't play this, robotic Pep Guardiola football. So I think there is a major, I would say, grey area between Mourinho and Arteta. I get it though. He did rely on his defence a lot during his prime, but let's be honest. Despite Mourinho playing defensive football, despite Diego Simeone playing defensive football, he still got the best out of many of his attacking players.
Yeah.
Many of the attacking players have actually progressed. I'm looking at Julian Alvarez, who looks 10 times better player than he did at Man City for me. He was still a great player at City, don't get me wrong. But look at him at Atletico Madrid and look at how Simeone's got the best out of Alvarez. Look at the way Griezmann's been playing lately.
Griezmann, yeah. I agree.
And this guy was a flop at Barcelona.
True.
And then you look at Arteta, and I'm seeing the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Gyökeres for the season he had last season. All of these players regressing. Would that be the case under a Mourinho, under a Conte, under
and
a Simeone? And it's another thing as well. I don't think anyone, and I'm pretty sure no one anyway, has a problem with this football as long as you get over the line. And that's it. So you can bring up Mourinho, Conte, Simeone, whoever, right, who relied on their defences to bail them out, which is true, but it got them over the line. George Graham as well. His football wasn't pretty. Obviously, way before my time, but I don't think this football that Arteta is playing is any better than
Okay.
George Graham's football. To be honest with you,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay,
so
so
yeah,
okay, that's awesome. Coco, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we want to hear your thoughts on this, bro.
Okay.
Are clean sheets more important than attacking output?
Uh, uh, um, I love clean sheets, right? Uh, I love clean sheets, but for me, I grew up getting used to attacking output. Like as an Arsenal fan, we
yeah.
rate the attacking aspect of the game by far. I mean, we're only just getting used to clean sheets as a factor, right? Under Arteta, I think
Coco, are you there? Okay, I think he has a network glitch. Okay, we also have Sir Bobby on the channel tonight making his debut. How you doing, bro? Good to have you. You're muted in case you're speaking.
My brother, it's always nice to be here. It's a long time coming, but I'm just
Yeah,
happy to be here. To be honest, how are you, bro?
awesome, awesome.
So
So before I go to you,
I've been typing, but I think
yeah,
sometimes I
it's
just
good.
need to sit.
It's good to finally have you on the channel tonight, bro.
Yes,
Good to
my
finally have
brother.
you on the
How are
channel
you? Now,
tonight.
how's everything going? Arsenal
Be
wants
good.
to frustrate our lives, but God passed them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. Okay, so Bobby, let's start with you on this question. Which player has underperformed the most?
Ah, why Saka, um, Bukayo Saka,
Can you
Odegaard.
give your reasons why?
And I don't blame them, to be very honest, and I blame the coach for this. You see, well, okay, I'm doing devil's advocate work right now, because one, we needed these players to get out of our funk. That means because of that we now overplayed them. We overplayed these players to get out of our funk, and that is one of the problems we're facing now. Now, over reliance on these players has made Arteta to not even know how to rotate players. You're buying players, you're spending so much money on players, and you still don't know how to rotate your players. Now, see Saka, you played Timber just came back from ACL last season, I mean 2 seasons ago. You overplayed him, oh, you played White to uselessness. Because White, you guys forget that White was actually one of our best players. He played through injury and all that. And
Yeah.
now he's now useless because he doesn't know how to play football anymore. So let me not even just digress. The disappointments of this season, Bukayo Saka, and in Nigeria we say some very funny things. He
Okay.
has started
Rory.
doing some certain things that he should not do. He should have waited a little. He's growing, he's becoming an adult. He's doing adult things early. But that's just he's doing adult things early, but that's just a joke. Yeah, but
Okay, so that's fair. I agree with you. Saka has really underperformed because we have some standards that you
Martinelli,
expected of him.
and in fact, your front three, four, and I'm adding Jesus to it. So we, those players that made us come second 4 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, and okay, sorry, 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, and last season are the players now that are underperforming because we added players, and this addition should have augmented our team. Instead, we are losing more. So, well, that's it, my brother.
Okay, fair enough. Rory, over to you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say Saka as well. Um, it does pay me to say it because he's been one of my favourite players for years. But honestly, I think that could be him finished after this season. I ain't gonna lie. Um, the hamstring injury definitely took a toll on him, and I think from then on, I kind of saw the downfall coming. I think it was inevitable after the injury he picked up at the start of the season, and now he's not showing any signs of coming back from injury. It won't surprise me if he's injured for the rest of the season, which would be absolutely heartbreaking for it to end like this because, as I said, he's been one of my favourite players for years, and he's in this situation because he's been heavily overplayed. He's even been moved out of position at times for a winger that, has scored, 2 goals in, yeah, how many appearances is it? 60, 70, something
Yeah.
like that? I don't even know at the top of my head, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, it's painful me to say this again about Saka, but we just got to keep it a buck. He's just really underperformed this season. I think it's easy to say, Lewis Skelly as well, especially the season he
Mhm.
had last year, but he just hasn't been given the opportunity, especially in his
Yeah,
natural
to
position.
like build on it,
Sa-
no honesty.
Saka, when he's been fit, has been playing consistently. Right, I'm looking at his performance in the final, which was absolutely disgusting. Like that was our captain that day, and he just did not turn up whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, considering the pedestal we put him on, it has to be him. Like I can't think of many that have underperformed in this first team. I'm looking at the left hand side. Trossard had a little bit about him at the start of the season. Martinelli's actually been performing in the Champions League and has been off it for about 2 years anyway. Madueke's always been crap. Odegaard's been off it for 2 seasons. Eze's sort of picked it up in the last, I would say,
Couple
few
of
months.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last few weeks. And he's bagged a couple, not even a couple goals, but 5 goals in 2 North London derbies in his first season, so he's got credit in the bank. Gyökeres is our top scorer and has scored 18 goals in all competitions. Declan Rice has been one of our players of the season. The defence, you can't say any of them have underperformed. And then I'm looking at Saka and I'm like, how many times have you actually contributed this season? Not really any. And again, as I said, it pains me to say this because Saka is my favourite player. He is literally on the phone case. So, like, to those of you who say, "Oh well, let's start ripping out the race card and etc. etc." Because you're now speaking like this about Saka. This guy's been my favourite player for years,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like the
Yeah.
hamstring injury has taken a toll on him. It's not his fault by any means, but it just has to be said that he's not the same player as he once was, and I don't think he'll ever reach the heights he was. I hope I'm wrong now. I really
Yeah,
do.
sure, sure. Fair enough. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So Bobby, he says, what tactical tweak has made the biggest difference this season?
Defense, because I think that's the only thing that has been different from the past 3 to 4 seasons. Our defense has been watertight, not a basket.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that. But in when we're dealing with, see, the EPL is a very very funny place that you just can't use one. It's not one size fits all, one tactics fits all. You must tweak. They have found us out. So I still expect more tweaks. I expected Logard to to show up. So in as much as yes, we have a good first half of the season, yes, tactically we're defensively, ooh, set pieces, ooh, excellent. but now we are bland. So I cannot really see. I cannot. I don't want to say the biggest difference because in the first half, yes, the second half, there's nothing. There's nothing. Since January, there's nothing to say yes. Okay, this is the biggest
Okay.
difference. We're only speaking for first half. Second half, we're doing cross and inshallah, pass and inshallah, and all and that. Cross, just leave it all to God.
Yeah. Fair
So
enough.
it gets irritating
Rory.
after a while.
I mean, the biggest tactical tweak. I mean, probably the fact, and I wouldn't even class this as a tactical tweak, but we've had obviously differences in like the backroom staff, etc., which has probably done us favours defensively. But has there been any tactical tweaks this season? Have
Yeah, I'm
we?
just thinking maybe changing from 4-2-4-3 to 4-2-3 or when time AZ comes around.
Yeah,
It a whole lot better than when we play a 4-3 setup. That's the only one that really
I,
comes to my mind.
I don't know because like last season we were heavily relying on set pieces, as
Yeah.
not as much as we are this season, but last season we were heavily relying on set pieces. Um, and again, I'm still like trying to think: is there any tactical tweaks, or has everyone else in the league just been crap and they can't defend? They can't defend crosses.
Yeah,
Is
true,
that
true.
just the case? While we are top at the moment, which listen, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong, because everyone last season was crap. Liverpool fans didn't complain about winning the league that season. So um, I don't know, probably that.
Yeah,
The
okay.
fact we've
Potentially.
the
Potentially.
fact we've changed formation, right? 4-2-3-1
Mm-hmm.
from a
Okay.
4-3-3, having a double pivot in there, I think has helped. That's
Yeah.
what I will say. Supermendy and Declan Rice, I think that has worked at times. I'm not going to say every single game. There's games where I don't think a double pivot's been needed. And it's nice to see Declan Rice has reverted back to his best position, if you ask me, in a lot of games as well. And I think Supermendy's arguably made Declan Rice the player he has been this season. But I mean, apart from that, I think the rest is the same.
Yeah. Okay, so sticking with you, Rory, on this, what are your overall thoughts on our Champions League campaign so far?
Well, yeah, obviously the league phase was fairly impressive considering the teams we played. We obviously
Mhm.
battered Bayern Munich in that second half. And that was, for me, the statement in the Champions League. Like, I genuinely thought, yeah, we mean business this season. Um, we obviously beat Inter Milan with our B team. You could say with a couple of first team players who would usually start. They played, but at the same time, we didn't really have our best team out against Inter Milan, and we still managed to beat them 3-1 quite comfortably as well, which I found impressive. Atletico Madrid 4-0 at the Emirates. We won pretty much all. Yeah, we did win all 8 of our games without
Yeah.
conceding many goals. I think it was only 4 we conceded. So that was fairly impressive. If you ask me, I think the knockout stages, we played Leverkusen. The first leg wasn't so great. Still got a good result. I thought the second leg was a really good performance, actually. Probably one of our best performances of the season.
True.
Um, and then, the 2 sporting games,
Yeah,
again,
they're laborious though.
yeah, the first leg, if it wasn't for David Raya, I think we could have lost that game, maybe even drawn the game. I don't know. And Kai Havertz obviously scored in the last minute, which eventually got us through. And
Yeah.
the second leg was just so dull that I actually fell asleep during that second half. I'm not even joking. If you watch Josh's watch along, you know I wasn't even. I'm not even capping because trust me, I actually fell asleep, and I don't fall asleep during Arsenal matches. That's probably the first time I've ever fallen asleep during an
Wow.
Arsenal match.
Yeah,
But
it was not boring, man.
yeah, so bad. But as a whole, I think the Champions League campaign has been good so far. Performances still need to improve. You could argue the league phase, um, in terms of performances, have been significantly better than the knockout
Knockout.
stages.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Obviously, there's a different class in terms of pressure, like pressured moments. You've
Oh,
got Bayern Munich, which again wasn't really a pressured game because both teams would have been going through anyway, first or second. Inter Milan, we were already through, although that was a must-win game for Inter Milan at the time. Atletico Madrid, that was early on in the league phase. So these weren't really pressured games. Um, so,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, I think, again, though, I still credited the performances because, the performances were very, very impressive, don't get me wrong. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
criticising the performances whatsoever. But when I'm looking at, the knockout games, and yes, the bottom line is you're through, but when you reach that sort of stage against, an Atletico Madrid, for instance, when you play a PSG or a Bayern Munich in the final, performances have to improve. You can't be playing like that, for instance, against PSG and or Bayern Munich, should I say,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, like we did against bloody Sporting, that's for sure.
Okay, makes
Because,
sense.
and again, maybe a full 90 minutes would actually help us, because it's not over two legs. I don't think we'll be able to beat PSG or Bayern Munich over two legs. But as we've seen in a one-off game against, Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid Atletico Madrid's two legs, sorry. But Bayern Munich or PSG in a one-off game, maybe we could beat them on our day.
Yeah,
But
true. So,
when
we have
is it
good
our day?
coaching.
When the pressure mounts? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair enough. So, Sir Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Okay. Let's go to the next question, Rory. It says, how big of a blow was it to crush out of the domestic competitions? Some
Oh,
people are
that
like,
was a
oh, we have so many fish to fry. The Carabao and the FA Cup were down in the pecking order. I think it's copium. I think we should have actually
yeah.
gone for both competitions because
We do
Carabao Cup, it
this
was
every
our first
season.
arrogance that cost it,
We
playing
do
kept
this.
ahead of Ryan.
I'm telling you, bro. We do this every season. We get knocked out by Forest, bigger fish to fry. Top four was always the target, etc. We got knocked out by West Ham in the League Cup already. We've been knocked out by Southampton numerous times. Like, for me, that Carabao Cup final, that was the turning point of the season.
Yeah,
I could accept losing games of football, but if you play like that in a final at Wembley, which is supposed to be your bread and butter, by the way, like Arteta before that final hadn't lost a game at Wembley. He's won what, two or three FA Cups? So he should know what this means. I think he's won trophies in Spain as well. He must have figured in finals before when he's played at PSG and Barcelona. Regardless of like whether he's played or not, he's still participated, in the squads of Barcelona, PSG with the likes of Ronaldinho, these mentality monsters who have been there and done it. So I'm like, surely, right, against this City team who before that game, I believe, dropped points against West Ham. I think did they drop points against Forest?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
2-2.
Well, they dropped points against Forest, but I'm trying to think like was that the game before they played against West Ham where they dropped points away from home?
Yeah,
Or was there
they
a
play
game?
Real Madrid, then West Ham, then Real Madrid again, then us.
Yeah, yeah. So this was a City team that weren't in form, and they just played us off the park in the second half. And then we
They
go into
didn't
the
really play us.
Southampton
They didn't
game
really play us off
where
the
we're
park.
in desperate
It
need
was
to win the game.
if not because of what's the guy O'Reilly's or Zubimendi's fatigue. That was what. If you notice, they didn't really do nothing. They just kept us at bay. I just felt like we lost it when we could see our heads drop as O'Reilly scored, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was it. It's not because, and you know the fun. If we didn't drop our heads, we would have scored. But immediately happened again, and it was yeah, that was it. That was the end of the
No,
game.
no, but the painful thing is having a keeper like Kepa, right, who is not the same level at Raya. Then you meant that Raya was making save after save after save prior to that Carabao Cup final, yeah? And that took
Okay,
that bait of Pep saying that you're going to play Trafford. And we saw how it happened. Even when they tried to do that press, the many times when Hincapié and White were free, but Kepa didn't have the ability to play the ball above the block, that high block to get across to them.
yeah,
So it was a very big blow to us, man.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if we
Kepa
would
is a
have
big
lost to
problem.
Southampton, but coming back off, that Carabao Cup win, then I think I would have been able to let that one go because it's the magic of the FA Cup, etc.
It
And
actually is,
we've
yeah.
already got a trophy. But because you've lost the final the way you did, and then you lost to Southampton, I knew that would take a massive effect on this team, especially when the manager's not even learning from his mistakes. He played Kepa in the following game, for Christ's sake, after that
And we
Carabao Cup
still
final.
failed. And we still failed. He's
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said. My problem with him is, see, he's very arrogant, and
Yeah,
I'm just very happy that his arrogance is not at the level of Villas Boas. That one was actually, he felt like he was a Mourinho. At least Arteta has not won the trophies, but I can cut his arrogance some slack because you can still see that there's something there. But still on still, bro, we need to win on Sunday. I don't
yeah.
care how.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be arrogant,
I
then
see,
at
bro.
least back it up
I
with
miss David
trophies.
Dean, and I'll tell you why I miss David. Sorry, I'm digressing. I miss David Dean. If you notice, when David Dean was there, we were very political. There are very many things. Yes, we knew that Ferguson had power, but David Dean always made sure that that power also stayed with us. Nobody could ride us when Dean was around. Immediately he left, we became laughing stock. We don't have that person in the FA that can defend us. We don't have that dirty person that would do what the glaze or what the what do you call them, the Etihad crew they are doing, or what goes behind the scenes. Because if you notice, we need to start learning how to buy referees.
Hmm.
Because
Uh,
see, there's very little you can do. You do behave like what was Madrid's guy's name, man? What's that guy's name? What's their president's name again? Do like those guys, but be very subtle about it. You can't see Arsenal is an ideal club, is a model club. But in this time and age, you need to be street. We're not street enough. Everywhere you go, we are banter material because we let it happen. There's nobody
yeah.
behind the scenes telling the PGMOL, say, come, behave yourselves, man. These are my boys. Be fix it. We need, we're too prim and proper for the EPL as it is. We're too prim and proper for the EPL as it is. We need to be a big, see, yes, so, when they say heaven helps those who help themselves, or help them, do your part. We are doing our football, but behind the scenes, there's something that should happen for us. Somebody tweeted that the referees for the game will be so and so people because they are pro City, and it happens that way. We also need to work behind is let us call it commercial. These are our commercial partners. We can tag it whatever. We can't just always be prim and proper in this EPL. We need to win.
I agree. I agree. So now let's go to the next question. And I think Bobby, I'll start with you on this. What is Arsenal still lacking as a team?
Ah. Okay. I think our biggest problem is from our manager right now. Because I'll say Arteta is an excellent okay. Arteta is excellent when it comes to tact some forms of tactics that we're not used to. The, but he's terrible with forward play. I was happy that Gabriel Heinz that came in because Heinz is a madman. We need that grit. But we have what's the English? We have gotten worse attacking wise. Our selection of attacking players, our forward line is significantly poorer than it should be. So whoever we're buying or employing should be totally attacking minded. Yes, we've had a good throwing, a good Nicolas Jova, yes, good attacking coach with corner. But you can also argue that corners are defensive because the people scoring your corners are not attackers. So it's not the
Yeah.
defensive mindedness that is helping us score those corners. We need now we are solid defensively, or we were solid defensively. We need now attacking invincibility
Hmm. Makes sense.
that we
Rory.
don't have.
Yeah. Rory.
I think it's simple for me, really. Mentality. Just don't have, the stomach in these pressured moments, as I mentioned earlier. Every time the chips are down, we don't seem to deliver. And I have pointed out numerous times this season in big games, which, to be honest with you, I'll give Arteta again credit over the years for this, that we've been heavily competitive against, the big six throughout his management. Like we went through how many years without losing against the big six?
Like 3 years, 22 games.
Yeah. So, I've seen us beat Man City in that time, Liverpool, Tottenham. Well, to be fair, we've done a double over them again this season. That's a guaranteed 6 points every season, isn't it? But I've seen us, beat Liverpool. I've seen us break the Man City curse. Um, I've seen us beat Chelsea numerous times. Like we have been heavily. Man United's another one. We've been heavily competitive against the big six, and this season, I don't know what it is, but we just seem scared. We have this mentality about us where we are just so scared to lose. I'm looking at, the Man United game, for instance. Yes, we beat them at Old Trafford, right? But in our own gaff, you go 1-0 up in that game, you're in the ascendancy, and then you just gift them a goal to get them back into the game. And that was the turning point. I'm looking at Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. They go down to 10 men, and we only get a point out of it. Didn't even look
Yeah.
like scoring, and they were the better team.
Yeah, even
So,
with the 10 men, actually.
yeah, and like this is what I'm saying. I think away from home, especially, the mentality's not right against, the supposed Big Six, right? The only massive game I have enjoyed this season away from home is Tottenham. I'm going to count that as a massive game because it's a North London derby. Regardless of where they are in the league, I'm not going to say, part of the Big Six because, yeah, like the way they're performing, they're going to be in the Championship next season. We can no longer class them as, a member of the Big Six. But that's still a massive game, regardless. Like, they could be playing #United and we could still play them in the FA Cup and I'd still count that as a massive game because it's still a North London derby, right? It's like West Ham and Millwall. Millwall are in the Championship right now. And West Ham are obviously fighting for relegation. Regardless, like, that's still a rivalry. Whenever they meet each other in the FA Cup, or should I say just domestically in general, that still remains as a derby. So, for me, apart from both Tottenham games, there's not really any games where the pressure's on, and I've enjoyed us, coming out of the traps early, sticking it on them, because for some reason we just have this mentality now just to sit back every time we go 1-0 up. Or if it's 0-0, we want to get out of there with a 0-0 draw. And that's exactly what we're probably going to do at the weekend against City. Because I don't see us going there and playing for a win. Not a chance.
Nah.
Right? Even if we go for it in the first 10 minutes and we make it 1-0, what do you think he's going to do for the rest of the game? He's going to play for a 1-0, isn't he?
Yeah, haram.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think the mentality is the biggest thing Arsenal are lacking
Yeah, I love that.
this season. And I think it stems from the manager and the fact they're installing that sort of mentality into the players as well. I'm seeing Declan Rice coming out of interviews, etc., telling us, well, if you can't win, don't lose. Gyökeres coming out and, saying the bloody pitch is dry. Arteta's already come out and blamed the footballs. So I'm like, well, what is going on here? These players are known for their mentality, but they just come out in a one-off interview and say, well, you know what? The pitch is dry. If you can't lose... if you can't win, don't lose. Losing it again.
So Gyökeres, right, against Bournemouth. That didn't make any sense to me because you had good chances. I said the pitch is dry. Well, man, that's just crazy.
Coco. Also, club anthem as well. North London forever, whatever the weather. Bullshit.
Coco, are you still with us? Okay, he's muted. Okay, so I'm guessing. So this is the final question for a roundup, and it says, "Who has been the player of the season so far?" So, Bobby, let's go with you first. I think there's one more after this.
Big Gabby.
Incapié? Oh, Gabby.
Gabby. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Why?
Clutch moments. For every clean sheet you can attribute to Raya, you can also give him part of it. He is for the bigger part of our season, or our first half of the season, he was instrumental in goal scoring or assist with every corner or set piece. Yes. A very close second is Ofada Rice.
Mm-hmm.
A very, very close second. Then third should be our in-house pastor.
Timber.
Yeah.
Okay. Rory, you?
I would have said, sorry. I would have said,
okay, when I can finish.
To be mainly the first quarter or 2/3, yes, but not now that he's fatigued. He
Yeah,
has not
he's
played
clearly
as
tired.
much. Yeah, he's too tired. But you see, it's Gabby, Rice, Timber.
Awesome. What about you, Rory? Your top three?
My top three. Number one is probably. It's difficult, you know. I'm gonna say number one is Declan. Excuse the
Sorry,
voice
bro.
break. Uh,
Right.
excuse the voice break. Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
I was
sorry.
gonna say Declan Rice number one. Number two. Oh God, it's difficult, isn't it? Um, Number two, I'm gonna say Gabriel maybe,
Okay. And number three?
and number three, David Raya.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the final question for tonight. I'll start with you, Rory, before we go to Bobby on this. How would you rate our season so far out of 10?
Wow, this is a this is a difficult one because if you'd have asked me like 3 weeks ago, I would have probably said about 7, 8 out of 10 because we're still in all four competitions and things were looking good at the time. You know, Carabao Cup final, we had that to look forward to, and now I feel like something has just sucked all of the confidence and all of the belief out of the fan base. You know, the football we play is not pretty whatsoever, for a number of reasons. Um, I actually don't know, to be honest. I think you could put that down to us being top of the league because everyone else is crap, like it was with Liverpool last season. So I actually, this is so difficult. I'm probably going to say, oh, we've had some dreadful results throughout the season. We really have. Like every time we've had the opportunity to pull away from Man City, we just haven't. And despite we are top of the league, I've lost count of how many trigger warnings I've had on my channel. Like because I've crashed out so many times. This is a team that is top of the league, and I'm crashing out on numerous occasions, which doesn't seem normal to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say 7, you know.
Okay, not bad. Bobby?
7-2. There's no need to even beat around the bush. It would have been like Rory said, the turning point of our season was
Rory.
Rory. That's what I said.
Okay.
Was Carabao Cup finals. I was telling my guys here, I was like, man, we need to win that game. I think I told you, yeah, we needed to win
Yeah.
that game because if you had won that game, we would have had some breathing space, and then somebody would have said, "Oh, we've won a trophy." Then okay, there we can say okay, 8-5. But right now, with the way I knew we are going to lose to Southampton, I already knew that. I don't know. I had that situation, so I'm not tagging that. But the loss to Bournemouth was it for me. So I want to say 7. I don't want to be doomsay and say 6.5, but 7. Let's leave it at 7.
Okay. So, guys, we're done. This was really awesome. Bobby, thanks for coming through.
Yeah. Sorry for the
Rory,
late.
so what's gonna happen the rest of the week? Are you gonna do a match reaction or match preview for the Man City game, or what's your plan?
Yeah. So match reaction will be coming out after the game. Um, hopefully they just give me some goddamn hope. And obviously like Monday, um, Monday, 8:30. Hopefully, we're not on for a quadruple of therapy sessions because that'll be 4 weeks in a row, right? Where
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
we don't have enough doctors, NHS doctors to handle Arsenal fans.
yeah, I mean, it's honestly felt like insanity the last couple of weeks. So hopefully, Arsenal give us some hope, something to cheer about because at the moment, I just think it's dampened all the mood. I do apologise about my disappearance on stream at one stage. Basically, my dad wanted me downstairs only to actually talk about the fact I didn't upload my Arsenal sporting match reaction. That was all. I'm like, you've taken the piss.
Before we close, can I
All
ask
this
a
for
question?
that.
What do you guys think the results on Sunday would be?
I'm thinking it's going to be a draw.
Don't talk like as a fan, because we know what our heart wants.
Yeah. So as a neutral, I would say it's going to be a draw, like a 1-1 draw or 2-2 draw. I don't think we have it in us to actually get a win.
Okay.
We might actually leading them till maybe 87th minute, and they'll have like a late equalizer, and we're done.
Rory,
But if they score us first, bro.
Finished. What do you think the score will
I mean,
be?
if I'm being generous, if I'm being generous, I'm going to say draw as well. But
Okay,
my head's saying 3-1 Man City.
3-1 Man City.
Yeah.
To be very honest, this is me being very, very objective. I'm not wearing my supporter or fan hat. I am saying that before O'Reilly, the way we played, the dead way we played, they didn't have anything above us. It was 2 moments of brilliance, and you could see it against Chelsea. First half, Chelsea dominated them. O'Reilly started, and I'm happy he's not going to play. I'm just
Awesome.
very happy he's not going to play.
Who, O'Reilly?
Yeah, he's not going to play. He got injured. I'm hoping the injury
Yeah,
stays.
but apparently he's
No,
fine.
but he's fit though.
Yeah,
Pep said Nico is fine in the press conference today.
We need to send.
All right, guys, thank you so much
that's
for.
out for the game.
We need
It's
to
Ruben
send, we need
Diaz
to
that's out
send
for the
somebody to Manchester immediately.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Ruben
so
Diaz
guys,
that's out for the
this
game.
has been fun as always. Especially on the chat as well. You guys have been great.
Yeah.
Thanks for being into this zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Tomorrow, I might not do a watch along, but certainly I'll do a match reaction. On Sunday night, tomorrow going to be a preview of the Man City game where I'll just act like, I'm Nostradamus and stuff. But clearly, guys, this has been awesome. So, Bobby, finally, good to see you in the channel. It's been awesome. Rory, you're an OG as always, man. So, guys, come on, you guys.